Our Net News Ledger Politics 2.0 coverage continues. Here's Annamie Paul, the leader of the Green Party. It's James with Net News Ledger. Welcome back, Annamie Paul, the leader of the Green Party. And today we're talking about one of the most important components of our society, our young people and our students. What does the Green Party want to do for young people in Canada?
Oh, a whole bunch. You know, when we invest in our young people, we're investing in our future. And so yesterday we were talking about post-secondary education and the need to make sure that it is completely accessible to every single young person, exactly because we know that there are barriers that are preventing young people from making use of post-secondary education, which is necessary and also a fundamental right. But even beyond that, we've been talking about the need for a guaranteed livable income and the difference that that would make. We know that young people have been treated like second-class citizens during the pandemic. And so we continue to fight for the kind of supports that they need.
One of the issues that we keep seeing is that, you know, often one of the lower voting numbers for the traditional political parties are youth. You know, seniors will vote in a snowstorm, walking barefoot on broken glass, and a lot of young people don't. And is this part of the project, is to also try to invigorate and engage young people?
Absolutely. It's not even so much that young people aren't invigorated and engaged. They are. When you think about the climate movement that's being led by young people, last summer, the movements around racial and social justice, these are all being led by young people. Young people are motivated, they're leaders. When they don't engage with organized politics or with our voting system, it's because, you know, when they sense any kind of hypocrisy, it's hard to get them excited. And so when they don't see their issues represented, when they hear politicians saying one thing and doing another, they tune out. And also our voting system is set up in a way so that they recognize that their vote doesn't count as much as it should because we don't have proportional representation. So, you know, they've decided to put their energy elsewhere, and we're trying to give them reasons to re-engage with the political system, mostly by encouraging them to step up and lead and to run because the system does need to change.
That's one of the ones. I used to live in Alberta, and often the way the election reporting would happen, you know, by the time that voting results in a federal election would be told to us in Alberta because of the blackouts, the vote was over. You know, once it had left Ontario and Quebec, bang, we're done. And we would be, oh, okay, you know, and it's something that does need to change. There is some change happening, but there hasn't been a lot of movement on proportional representation, of course.
No, there hasn't, but it's something that we will always continue to champion. We're going to keep the flame alive. We know that in places where there is proportional representation, young people are much more engaged in the political process. They vote, their turnout is much higher, they run more often. And you're absolutely right. You know, I think we would have far less regional divisions. I mean, it's not a panacea, but certainly if we had proportional representation, we would have different parties represented coming out of Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba. About a third of people in those provinces voted for parties other than the Conservative Party, and yet every MP, with the exception of one that went to Ottawa, was from one party. So we don't do ourselves any favor with the system that we have, and we're going to continue to push for that until we see that change, because we know it's better for our democracy.
As we move forward with under the COVID-19, this past post-secondary year and all education, which has shifted to either online, very little in-class activity, you know, students are racking up a lot of debt. And so your movement, your proposal would take that debt and cancel it. Are you considering that as a permanent move?
As a permanent move, it's something. When I was running in the leadership contest for the Green Party, I proposed a moratorium on tuition for the 2020-21 academic year. And again, not just for universities, but technical colleges, apprenticeships, all the different kind of training options that people have post-secondary, exactly because we knew that the things that usually were in place to help students weren't going to exist that year. So, you know, the summer jobs never showed up. There was the promise and they never materialized. And we know that students got cents on the dollar compared to other Canadians in terms of the emergency benefits, and those also ended in August. And so all of the students, the mature students, the ones that have to pay their own way, the low income students that counted on those summer jobs, they were struggling before, and this has made it a lot worse. And so we wanted a moratorium for this year, leading to a permanent abolition of tuition. And now we're just saying very clearly that this should be something that is committed to in the next budget, that we are going to abolish tuition for university and forgive the federal portion of student debt. This is a defining moment now. Are we going to show up for young people? Are we going to show up for our students and make sure they have a fair shake at a good future? That's the question now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
To keep up to date, you have to subscribe. You have to hit that like button and hit the notification to stay in touch.